Recently, when browsing YouTube, I saw somebody modify his old PC case into a super nice looking modern case. So because of that, I thought to myself, I have an old PC laying around, well then I could modify the case into a super modern one and be able to sell it for much more than this boring case. So here's the plan. This is the PC I'm planning to modify, and well, let's first start off with the boring side panel.
You don't want to be like this.
I mean, this is the most like 2005-ish looking PC. But first, we'll have to probably like cut the PC case in like a square shape, I guess, because that's the easiest shape to cut. And then add some glue onto the plexiglass and select on the newly cut side panel. And voila, side panel done. Second thing will make look more modern, the side panel. I mean, like, it looks like from a time I wasn't even alive. Alright, so let's make some sketches. First, we need to cut it in like a rectangle way and then slap in some plexiglass. And on the front, so on the inside, we'll make some attachment for the fans, because well, I can just like randomly throw fans into the case. But wait, can't I just take off this side panel? Can't I just like remove the side panel and just like create a completely new one? I do have a 3D printer, so I could just design and print a new one, rather than having to cut it in like a rectangle way, because that's kinda hard. 3D printing is a lot better than relying on human precision to like cut it, because humans cut like so I guess I'll do that instead. But beside that, there is a really big problem. So let's open up the case. Do you see this big old bay area where you have your like SSD in here and hard drives? Who even uses hard drives anymore? If I want a juicy glass side panel, this shit just cannot block like the amazing view that the case has to offer. I am indeed upgrading the graphics card, and if you're wondering, it's a GT 630. That doesn't even work. Everything else does. I hope. I mean, people complain a lot about a 730. This is a 630. So my only option is to remove these rivets with a drill. Alright, let me disassemble some parts that are like completely useless. I guess I'll put the action camera on me so I can use both of my hands, so I don't have to hold the phone. Alright, so this side panel will be like completely useless after I have like removed all the buttons and stuff. Alright, but anyways, in my sketch, the buttons are on top. So kinda like this, and the USB interface is down here. So I guess I'll just like design and 3D print the front panel, as I said. Alrighty, the next step, let's convert my amazing looking sketch into a CAD model. Okay, like just the front, because when like I didn't feel like modeling the whole entire PC. I also made some space right here for the plexiglass, because I'll just like glue the plexiglass like right here and stuff. And also made some room for the buttons and the USB interface. But there is a very big problem. My 3D printer is too small. In length and width, it's only like 235 millimeters, but the PC case is 435 millimeters. So that's like twice the length of my 3D printer. So I guess I'll have to splice the model in half. But all the boring theory out the way, let's actually modify the thing. First is of course the side panel. So I don't want to directly mark where to like cut the case, so I'm gonna use some masking tape. So as it turns out, I actually marked the drawing. I mean, it was right with my drawings, but it overlaps with the like closing mechanism, and it needs to be flat if I want to cut it. Instead of a 3 centimeter distance, maybe like 5 or 6. Alright, now that it's cut, we need to like remove the tape. So let's remove it. Okay, now I've removed the tape. Now what we have to do, take this plexiglass I bought and cut it to the perfect size. So let's do that. I cut the plexiglass and then we added some like super glue or whatever it was, and look at that. Looks pretty nice, right? You can even like see my reflection. Yeah, I mean that looks a lot better compared to before. Ain't no face reveal yet. So now on to the next part. Alrighty, now it's time for the side panel. Since the last time I showed you the new front panel, I have done some upgrades. So first I added some holes for cooling, and I guess that's really all I did. I didn't do much. But before I print the whole panel, I'm gonna make some like smaller tests to see if everything fits. So I guess let's do that. Alright, after doing a lot of tests, I have finally found the perfect dimensions and the perfect front panel design. Everything fits so well that when I print this, there should be no problem. So to show you, like, see, this design works perfectly with the buttons and the lights, and this design also works USB and the microphone 3.5mm jack, but it's also pretty nice. I will print this in black, but first I will have to splice the model in half because my printer is too small. So let's 3D print it. Alrighty, now I have printed half of the case, and I have to say it looks actually pretty cool. I have to say the USB interface fits like perfectly with the case, and the cooling looks also pretty nice. So the next part I'm gonna print is the top half, and while it's printing, what I'm going to do, remove the SSD cages and stuff so that I can later put in the fan attachments right here. So let's do that. Alright, now I have drilled off the like unnecessary parts and also removed the fan attachment because I'm gonna make like 3 fan attachments and this fan attachment was in the way. Alright then, now both of these front panels are actually printed. I mean, this looks pretty nice, right? But there is a problem. So my dumbass accidentally broke these connectors that I like supposed to connect to here, like like this. It's kind of broken as you can see. So I had 2 choices, to reprint this or to like add some like new ones onto it. But then I realized it snaps on quite nice, but even when connected, there's literally no space for the fans. I would personally like to place the fans like right here behind the metal, but that's the problem, because if this thing isn't here, then the metal structure is going to probably go like this. It's not going to be strong. So my idea is to create like an extension to the front panel, so it will be more extended, and then place the fans in the middle right here. So what I'll do is remove all these pins and then make an extension and glue the extension to the already existing side panel. So let's design my idea. Alright, so now I've actually designed the front panel extension. Alright, so let's print this. And when printing, I noticed a very weird clicking sound, and well, I came to see what was happening, and well, as you can see, this part literally just like fell off while printing. This is a beautiful touch. If you don't know much about 3D printing, this is what like makes like the bed level so the like printer nozzle can like go around evenly. Boom, broke off. And as I can see, this part is really bent right here. I printed this in PLA, and that material, well, isn't very strong. So now I'm gonna print it in PETG like the PC case, so it should hold for longer than like 2 months. So now I fixed the issue with the BL Touch, but the printer just fucking stopped printing mid-print. Like, bro, what the? They don't want me printing this thing. Alright, now the beautiful parts are printed without any problems. First, I will have to cut out the old pins. Bro, this part just like flew over there, bro. Alright, now everything is cut off. Okay, so now the plan is to cut the plexiglass to the right size. Well, I guess we got to measure it. Alright, so here I've prepared the plexiglass to cut. So, if you're wondering how you cut it, you get a ruler. My first measurement is 15 centimeters. From the edge of the plexiglass to the edge of the table, you need to like measure the distance like this. And then you get your clamp and your second clamp. I forgot about the metal ruler. Alright, so you get your long metal ruler and clamp it down. And measure the distance again. And now you get your favorite utility knife and just cut. Wait, let's add some tape because I accidentally scratched it. Oh, my notebook. Oh man!
20 minutes later.
Alright, so after a lot of cutting for like 20 minutes straight, look at this. That's a clean cut, I have to say. Right, so now it's still kind of too long, I think. Alright, now it's set up, so let's cut it. Alright, after cutting for like 10 minutes, hoppa and hoppa. I mean, that's so satisfying. Alright, this is the front side panel. I need to glue this onto this. At first, we need to like remove the sticker. So because I'm gonna glue here, let's add some paper. This is the glue, and it's like some really good silicone glue. First, before the plexiglass, let's glue the sides together. Alright, looks quite alrighty. Alright, let's use the clamps. Wait, I think my clamp might be too small. Wait, oh shit. Turns out all my clamps are well too small. Oh no. So let's maybe, if so, use these smaller clamps. Clamp it down at least here, I mean. Something, I mean. Okay, now we can use the plexiglass. Oh wait, but the plexiglass might not. Yeah, right, the plexiglass doesn't fit in. Something like this. Yeah, see, now this is actually quite alrighty. So let's glue the plexiglass, and I can't glue too much here because this is the cooling. I don't know if the clamps are such a good idea. I might like add them onto later. Now let's just apply the glue. Okay, this doesn't seem bad. So let's apply the plexiglass. This seems quite alrighty. So let's use these small clamps. And also to apply the pressure more evenly, I will place some books here. Huh. Well, I guess this is the only time books are actually useful. So, I mean, if you're at this point in my video, consider subscribing. I'm gonna post some even better videos. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. Oops, I accidentally got some glue on the book. So let's wait for tomorrow until the glue cures. And then I will glue this part on. But with editing, I can just... Okay, I actually don't know how to snap my fingers. But let's just add some sound effect for it. Alright, so now a day later, the glue has hopefully cured. I hope the bond is pretty good. It holds actually pretty tight, but I mean this actually looks pretty good, I would say. Now what we have to do is to glue these two parts. So let's do that. Alright, that seems pretty good. Now comes the actual parts. Alright, seems pretty good. And now let's also add on some books. So now let's just wait a couple of hours. So I mean, with 3 fans, it's gonna look pretty juicy, I have to say. But now what I have to do is make a design, actually design that works with this. So let's do that. Alrighty, now all these parts are printed. But first, let's just like clean this plexiglass. Alrighty, let's use some isopropyl alcohol to drink. Clean it. This glue just... I guess I'll have to add some more glue, I guess. And lastly, let's just clean it with this and some fiber cloth. Okay, this actually looks pretty nice though. Let's attach the fan lock attachments. I mean, that's some random name I made up. Connect them and see how well the fans fit. It's not that easy. Connect it, I mean. Alright, now this is pretty nice. Let's see if the fans fit. How am I going to get the fans to... Okay, I think I have to remove one. And now I can add the fans. It's wrong side, like this. Okay, I mean, this should actually fit though. I'll get the screws and... Yeah, I mean, it's just one fan, but that looks pretty darn good. After I've like screwed in all the fans, I'm gonna connect like all the cables. These fans are daisy chained. I've screwed in all the fans, but do you see what I did? I forgot to take out the like front stickers from the fans. I'm going to insert the fans again, and I'm going to daisy chain them. Now I've screwed in all the fans and connected everything I needed to connect. So now comes the actual part. All this will actually even fit. I mean, well, as they say, there's only one way to find out. And now... Seriously, it doesn't really even fit in. I mean, it looks really nice though. Okay, I mean, this isn't great. I kinda felt like Rhino stick tips right there. What I wonder is that they maybe like make some like hole right here in the metal, an actual screw hold everything in place. I mean, that could be a good idea, I think. So I'll try to do something like that. But first, before we screw anything, we have to remove the pins. Let's now do it. So I took the pieces to the garage, so now we can actually do some modifications. Alright, my first idea is to maybe like polish the pins that I cut so that the design will easier snap on. So I'm gonna polish it with this cheap fake dremel version tool that I bought for like $30 on like the Swedish eBay. Alright, this is pretty nice. So now I have to take a drill and just drill holes through here and through here. Okay, so I installed the drilling bit onto the fake Dremel and I hope it really cuts it. Let's just do a quick test. Okay, well, now I've marked everything and so I'm gonna drill here, here, here and here. Alright, that's a nice hole. Right, now I've drilled all the holes. Now let's drill on the plastic front panel. Alright, so originally I wanted to use these like M5 screws, but they didn't really like work that well. So I'm just gonna use some like more like, you know, the classic old screw. While assembling it, I realized that, well, I forgot to like screw in and everything the like USB front panel and the button. Okay, so I successfully screwed in the USB panel. When I tried to screw in the buttons, the whole thing just like... Well, I mean, yeah, the cable is broken. The cable is broken, literally, so I'll have to, like, solder it. Let's do that, I guess. I'm trying to strip this wire right now. I hope I'll succeed. This wire is stripped. Alright, now both of them are stripped. Okay, I got all of the soldering stuff prepared. Alrighty, first wire is soldered. Yes, I actually did it. I actually soldered it. That's amazing, man. So now, let's attach it. I've actually assembled it now, and look, I mean, this looks pretty sick though, but there is a problem. This button like barely works, so I'll use the like fake dremel thingy to like make the hole bigger so the button can actually work. I mean, this one works, but not the like important one that like turns on the computer. Alright, let's get this done. Right, I've also taken like a smaller bit to show something very funny. This thing that I just soldered literally just like disconnected. What the fuck? I mean, it was a pain. It almost took like 40 minutes, but I finally have soldered the connection. So what now? Let's take the PC home. I mean, alrighty, now the PC is home. I have to connect the fans to the motherboard. But before that, we have to replace the graphics card because this one doesn't work anymore. With this GTX 970. Now the GPU is in, so let's connect. Oh yes, right. We also have to connect the SSD. Let's try to start the PC now. Time for a final test. Will it even start? Hey, look at that. I mean, only one fan spinning and the RGB isn't even turned on. Something's happening at least. Alright, so after doing some reconfiguration, I hope it will actually work now. Alright, it's actually spinning, except the RGB isn't really like working really. After doing some research why my RGB isn't working, it turns out that I need this like RGB controller to get the RGB working. So I guess I'll just like order one. But when I will be waiting for it to come, I will install the RGB fan right here and connect everything and set up the PC. Alrighty, now I've built the entire PC. So as you can see, I did like actually add an RGB fan here and did some cable management, and also as you can see right here 3D printed a bay for the SSD. But there is a very big problem. This motherboard works and it doesn't really work. I mean, it is broken. I did like troubleshooting for like 7 hours, and yeah, I found out the motherboard and then maybe the CPU is broken. Like the PC turns on, but there's no signal to the monitor. So I have to buy a new motherboard. The thing you've all been waiting for. How does the actual RGB look? For the moment of truth. Here it goes. Doesn't that look pretty sweet though? I mean, just look at that. Like, that looks pretty nice, I have to say. Like, even though there are some like DIY defects, like, you know, and the power button, I mean, it still looks pretty amazing though. If you're wondering like the cable management job on the back, it was kind of impossible because there's so little space on the back. I was able to just like do this. So I mean, I'm super happy with this build, except the motherboard. I had another FM2 motherboard laying around, but it turned out that it also didn't work. So now for some reason the fans turned off. I think it might be a motherboard problem. I would be really happy if you would give a like on this video, and that's all I'm asking for. Also, I did a video where I literally had to plot 2 power supplies inside like a weird mini ITX PC case, and I did actually succeed. I mean, it was kinda hard though, but I did it. So if you want to check out that video, just check it out right here.